We're redefining leadership. So what is the first question? The first question is pretty obvious. What is leadership? If we're going to redefine leadership, the first thing we have to do is define what is the redefinition of leadership. And this is important because definitions of words hold power. Because the definition of a word determines our understanding of a word and how we actually apply that word in our lives. In essence, when I define a word, not only does it help me get a greater understanding of the word, but it also helps me know what to do with the word in order to apply it into my life. It's kind of like a pen. Someone say a pen. When you see a pen, we have a definition of what a pen is. And based on our definition of the pen, it creates an understanding, it creates dialogue, and ultimately it enables us to apply the pen to what we do in life based on our definition and understanding of what the word is. Make sense? The same is true with leadership. In order to truly understand leadership and to apply the concept of leadership effectively, we got to have a definition and an understanding so that we understand not only what it is, but we understand how to apply the definition of the word in our lives. And so this is the question that has went on for so many years, because so many people have been trying to figure out what is the definition of leadership. I mean, you go back to the in 1930, then you go to 1940, 50, 60 to 70 to 2000. There's always been this growth in what is leadership and this growth in what does it mean to be a leader? What does that look like? And it's one of the reasons why Bass, he's a familiar scholar as it relates to leadership. For those that are familiar with transformational leadership, you'll see his writings a lot in that space. He was part of the individuals that really begin to create some content or some definitions of what it meant to be a transformational leader. And he says there are almost as many different definitions of leaders as people have tried to describe what it means to be a leader. In essence, everyone has a definition of leadership. If you go Google what is leadership, you will get all kinds of different descriptions, definitions, traits, and a variety of other things as it relates to leadership. Based on your experience, based on where you're from. So the question now becomes, Josh, there's all these definitions, there's all these perspectives as it relates to leadership, but I want to know, how would you define leadership? And I'm glad you asked, because I've studied leadership since I was 25 years of age. I've been involved with leadership since I was 17 years of age. I am now 39, so you do the math. And I've been doing this thing for a long time, and I've come to this definition of leadership, and it's really the best one that I've come to. It's by Northhouse, and he says leadership is an ability to influence. Someone say influence. It's to inspire. It's to motivate. It's to persuade. Now, that's not it. Others to a certain destination to make a positive impact in the world. So when I deal with leadership, it's threefold. Someone say threefold. Number one, you got to influence. You got to influence someone. There's people that say if you don't have no followers, you're not a leader. Absolutely correct. You got to inspire. You got to motivate. You got to persuade. But you also have to have a vision. Someone say vision. Got to have a destination. Where are you going? How can you lead if you have no idea what you're leading me to? So you got to have a vision, and then you got to want to make an impact. Someone say impact. I use the word impact because I believe that effective leaders make an impact. Effective leaders impact people's lives. Effective leaders make organizations better. They make a nation better. They make a community better. When a true leader comes on the scene or emerges on a campus, emerges in a nation, emerges in another country, emerges amongst some people, they make things better. That's why leadership is so important, because it takes leadership to make things better. And I could give you so many examples, but I want to really relate it to an area of leadership that we don't always look to as it relates to leadership, and I want to relate it to the mother-daughter experience. See, I have a friend, and this is Demetria Jones, and me and Demetria have known each other for literally about 21 years. And we have a really good relationship because when I was a sophomore in school and she was a freshman, she came to my room one day and she was bawling in tears. And I was like, well, why are you crying? And I was at that point really sick. And I was watching Coming to America. I don't know if there are any Coming to America fans, but I'm watching the movie and I feel like I'm on my deathbed, but she comes in there, she's crying. I'm like, well, what's wrong? And with tears in her eyes, she said, I just got pregnant. And I said, okay, people get pregnant all the time. No, she said, no, you don't understand. I didn't plan on having kids right now. I plan on graduating. I plan on getting married. Plan on having some stability. And then I was going to have kids, but not right now. And she's bawling because she's not only tripping of her experience, but she's freaking out on how her parents are going to respond to her. Because I'm sure her parents didn't expect her to go to school and to get pregnant in the first semester of college. So she's there in my room, she's bawling, and she has tears, and I begin to encourage her, I begin to empower her and say, it's going to be all right, you'll be okay. I promise you, people that face worse and they have overcome, you will overcome. Someone say, oh yeah. And with tears in her eyes, I empower her and I encourage her, and she walks out my room not knowing what to expect. But I share with you that after 5 years, her daughter began to grow into a beautiful young girl. She graduated with a degree in accounting. She went on to get a job. She now has a house. Her daughter is getting ready to graduate. And her success story is incredible because she was able to overcome a challenge that she thought she was unable to overcome. And I think that's kind of awesome because when you can go to school and face all the challenges and all the naysayers and defy the odds and still overcome, that's pretty awesome. And I was excited about that. But as it relates to leadership, I was even more excited because what she did is she inspired her daughter. She encouraged her daughter. She empowered her daughter to ultimately succeed in life. And today her daughter is getting ready to graduate high school. Her daughter is doing well in school. Her daughter is doing amazing because my friend Demetria was able to apply the concept of leadership into her family, which ultimately evolved into a positive impact. You say, well, what do you mean? Her vision was for her daughter to succeed. She had to influence her by inspiring her and motivating her and encouraging her and challenging her and correcting her and keeping her accountable. And the impact is that her daughter, despite the challenges, has succeeded. Someone say leadership. This is what leadership is about. Leadership is about influencing people to a certain destination in order to make an impact. So if I'm going to be a leader, I got to have a desire to make an impact. Someone say impact. I got to have a vision. Someone say vision, which is a clear, concise, compelling picture, Instagram photo of your future. And then number 2, someone say influence. And this is really where it gets challenging because people are different. People are unique. And it requires you to do different leadership skill sets in order to inspire or to move people to a certain destination. And that's where the skill set really begins to kick in because you got to not only learn how to deal with people, you got to learn how to inspire, how to influence, and how to get people to the place where you see the best for them as a leader. The first question we got to ask yourself is, what is? And we define it as an ability to influence people to a certain destination and make an impact.